hard day. Yes, you're going to have some times where you feel like giving up. But every time you feel like giving up, I want to encourage you to just call on the name of the Lord.
That it's my season.
That it's my season.
You ought to declare that over your own life. Say, I believe.
I believe.
That it's my time.
That it's my time.
It's my time.
Because he had to. Yeah. He has to use the things
we have to
that
realize, like,
related to
your mom's time. It was up.
Yeah, and I mean I get that now,
you
but
get that, I'm just saying.
But back then,
he
at
needed
20,
her.
yeah,
At 20, shoot, at 25, at 40. Some people don't care, and that's a good testimony for other young ladies too that have lost a parent, or been through a divorce, or been through bad relationships, or going through anything. Once you grow from it, you can't give a testimony until you pass the test. Like you say, he gonna keep bringing it back to you until you pass. But once you get to that space, like you're at a time now to where you could go and mentor other young ladies. Because you see a lot of these young ladies, they're angry, they're mad at the world, and they don't want somebody to come in and pray for you. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that because their hearts are hardened to any of that, because they probably feel like you. My mom went to church every day and this and the third, and look, she still died, and it's like, I don't understand that it can get better. I don't understand that just because we want them here or we want things to go well, that it's going to happen the way we want to. But those were good tragedy testimonies.
And it's also hard to talk about it with someone who hasn't experienced the same
and it makes
tragedy. So it's like you can't come talk to me about something that you have not experienced or been through, because you would not understand like how I'm feeling. If you sitting there talking about I had suppressed memories of when I had my car accident, and you just sitting here talking about it. I'm sitting here holding back tears because I'm like, that just made me think about, when I couldn't have been here, you know what I'm saying? That I hadn't even thought about since God knows when, but you talking about it made me think about it, and I'm like, why? And then my mind just started going in all different directions. But again, going back to what you were saying, you can't talk to someone, I can't come to you and talk to you about something that you haven't been through, because you wouldn't understand. But if you've been through it, I would feel better talking to you about it, because you will relate where I'm coming from.
And see, at that time, I didn't feel like I had anybody, because all my friends still had their moms. Everybody I knew still had their mom. So when people would come to me and be like, "It's gonna be okay," I said, "How you know?" And they be like, "What you mean? But God's gonna make. But how you know this gonna be okay?" Because you call your mother, you go to your mom's house on Sundays, you eat dinner with her when you want to. So tell me how you feel it's going to be
now
okay.
Y'all can say it's going to be okay. To that young lady that's 23 before kids, and her husband just up and left, you can let her know it's going to be okay, because God turned it around.
You do everything right, because in my marriage I waited till I got married to do this. I did this. I did everything I was supposed to do. My mom was a mother of God, did everything she was supposed to do, but God still took her, got rid of that.
And you like, nothing. So once you say it's gonna be all right, and when somebody say, "How you know?" Because this is how God brought me. This is what He did for me. That was good, y'all. That was a good one. I was like you, Nikki, child. I was over here like, I ain't gonna be no punk. I'm over here like this. I ain't gonna be no punk.
Those memories, like, those are things that I just didn't want to, because that was a horrible time for me. Hearing the doctors asking me, "Can I feel my leg? Can you?" And it was just a horrible time. And then, as you were saying, like, you heard your mother's voice. I wish I knew the two women that saved me that night. All I heard was voices. Like they were just passing through, and they saw me. They go off the road in heaven. And I can still, when you said that, I heard the voices. I could hear their voices. "Are you okay?" You know what I'm saying? It's just stuff that I had suppressed, because it was such a hard time. And only if a person had been through that, or have seen it because they saw what I went through, would understand. You don't want to talk about it with people that haven't went through it or had to deal with it.
I was looking at, I don't know if I was looking at somewhere, talking to somebody, and for some reason, about a week ago, you laying on that stretcher, laying in front of the nurse's station. They wouldn't give you any medication because they can't give you anything because they got to do the CT scans and all of that stuff. You shaking, it was just, I don't know why that flashed in my head, but I can't even remember why that memory came about. But when you talked about it, now I forgot about it since then until you just said something else about it. But like y'all said, you can't minister to somebody. All you can do is say God's going to do whatever. But when you talk about personal testimony, it's mind blowing to other people. It's like, oh, okay, so you did it. I can do it too. You giving me a little bit of hope to know that I can get through this too. And that's the man. And I think I didn't write it down because I wouldn't have been able to read what I wrote because I write so fast. But one of the things I wrote down about being a woman, period, is a woman of the character is a woman of humility. You know, we don't exalt ourselves, and we have to remember to not exalt ourselves and always exalt God. We are giving. We give whatever we have, but we have to learn to give whatever we have to God at all times, and everything else will fall into place. And if you believe all things are possible to him who believes, that's in Mark 9:23. And how can we become a woman of influence, of faith? And one of them down here, the number one, I got to share your testimony. Your testimony does not have to be hard. It doesn't have to be that. And I remember
Because
my
I can't
husband,
hear that. If you're yelling at me, I can't hear you.
and just like her telling her story, that's a testimony. Just like y'all telling y'all stories, those are testimonies. And I remember my husband saying, he, as a young preacher, he would hear all these preachers get up and give these profound testimonies and how the Lord brought him through. And he's like, Lord, I want a testimony too. You know, trying to be like the elders. I want a testimony too. And he said until one night, he and his brothers, he was driving his brothers from somewhere, I can't remember where he said they were coming from, they had all fallen asleep. And when he woke up, God woke him up just in time before he was in the meeting, before he hit, you know, one of those things in the meeting. And then he was like, Lord, I don't want no testimony.
You asked for it.
Right, you asked for it. I'm going to give you one. Yeah. But that's one of the things I have is share your wealth of information and share your testimony and support each other and encourage each other. And that's what I thought about when I, getting women together is sharing with each other, supporting each other. We don't have to be slobbing, crying all the time. You know, just for somebody to listen. One thing I've learned in school is when you make eye contact with somebody just talking to you, that you are just listening to them. And this was me in class. What? I'm gonna be staring at nobody while they're talking to me. And they made us turn to these total strangers because we are all in the mix of different people. No, if I wasn't in class, I was at work. And they said turn to, because when you work with people, you have to pay attention to what they're doing. And this woman, and to this day, I have no idea what that woman was saying to me. But the fact that I was watching her, she just broke all the way down and crying. And she stood up and she hugged me. She said, that's the first time anybody has ever listened to me. And this was me. And whatever she said, can't remember, it flew out because we just had a whole hallelujah time. And it wasn't even about church, it was about work time. We was over in the corner just praising God for, just her breakthrough. Just her having a breakthrough. And when she started to do this, was me. That's what I was thinking in my mind. And I'm like, they just told me to listen to it. But whatever she was saying, it was something that was personal for her. But the fact that I was engaging in her and listening to her,
you were what she needed at that moment.
And she said, like coming to this. It was like a, when you're on your job, they send you off to these trainings or whatever. And she was like, I just didn't even want to come today. And because you get tired of going to training. But she said, God gave me everything I needed. And it had. And she said, I've been in all these retreats. I've been in all these revivals. She said, and here I come to training. God gave me everything I needed. So you just never know how somebody else's testimony will empower you and make you feel, okay,
I can do this.
I can do this. Yeah.
I can get through the day.
That was good.
We say that sometimes too. like you'll send me a message or I send you a message.
Yep.
Okay, this is what I needed to get me through the day because I was about to go crazy in here today.
Yes.
And somebody send me a little scripture or a little something or it's on
snippet or
YouTube or
something.
something. Like, or I just
Yep.
come to the front. I just come up here to talk. You know,
I do her the same way. I do all y'all the same way. I think of anything I'm looking at or whatever. Excuse me. I think about different people and where they are in my life, and I'll send something to her or I'll send something to her. Like I always think about when I sent you the song, "The Will of God," and he was like, "That's what I need to go to." And I'm like, that's Nikki's song right there. Let me sing that. 'Cause we hadn't heard it in like years, but. Yeah, so that's what we have to do. We have to be there to uplift each other and support one another. And you just don't know how much support you need until you get it. When you closed off and shut up in your house and you ain't this and the third, you just don't know what you need until you get it. And once you get it, you like, okay,
that's just what I need.
That's what I need and didn't even know you need. But sometimes you just don't know. What? Me too. But shutting off. Yeah.
We all are.
We all are.
Some worse than others.
Yeah.
But,
Because Nikki know when I'm mad, Nikki tell me I don't talk today because I got attitude. Blah, blah,
And
blah,
I
blah,
still
blah.
call.
And she's
and then sometimes it could be like one of us calling each other and be like, "What you want? Nothing." And it just hang up, and that's all it be. You know.
What I be telling her at work when you call me, I'm like, she don't want it. And I be like, what do you want? Nothing. It's just to hear somebody else's voice, just to hear your voice, just to
Just to see
there she
somebody.
is.
We don't even have to talk,
No.
but when we send a text, Nikki will just say, "I love you." I love you too, man.
And you be like, that's what you needed the other day. You didn't even know you needed that.
I want to say something because I've been listening to everybody. I think when you're going through a tragedy, for me, and I think it falls in the line of what you need, that you don't care, is that person that you do reach out to. Sometimes all you want is for them to listen. You know, you don't need the whole, well, let me tell you this, I gotta give you this. And even I went through this. Sometimes that gets on my nerves. Because when you're going through your thing at that time, I'm not calling you for it to be about you.
Right.
I just need to get it out.
I just need to get it off of my chest. And I have a hard time reaching out to people when I'm going through certain things because I can't take the whole, well, this is what I'm going through right now, or, you know, I can't.
I don't have enough room on my
It's
plate to
hard
put
for me.
yours. You know.
It's hard for me. Like, I went through a divorce. And I understand where you're coming from when you said you had to change your focus. I had to change my focus. But I don't know. I mean, I think I like the whole knowing that other people have gone through some of the similar things and we can share things without making it about all of us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I just
And you have to have a group of women. Last week I was so depressed. I was just going through a lot, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I didn't want to call my mom because I didn't want her to. I didn't want you to pray and supplicate. I don't want to hear you pray over the phone.
They start speaking in tongues. You like,
So I told my best friend, I said, look, I know you at work, but I'm not okay right now. She said, what you mean? I said, I am not okay. Because I keep crying. I said, and the thing that broke me, I got a bill from the lab for $400 and something. I ain't got no money for that. And then the tears got to rolling. I said, you know, this is just too much. This going on, that going on. She said, call me right now. I said, I'm crying now. And I'm just texting her. And I just went and ran in the office and I closed the door. I said, I don't need nobody to I just want to, and it may not be nothing.
Yeah.
It's not much.
it's not.
I said, you might think I'm crazy because I just got this $500 lab bill. I said, but it's not just that. But that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I just cried. And she was like, cry. And And I just bust out and I just cried. I mean, the ugly kind of cry. But I have been suppressing it, have been holding it. You didn't know that day that you paid for my food. That was the last $7 I had. And you bought me something to drink because it was my last. And I was just trying to make it through because I'm a single mother. Now, I don't get no welfare, no child support. It is hard sometimes. Then my air went out in my car. I mean, I was just going through so much. It just keeps piling up.
It was what you said that with, you know, my children are adults, so you know, with all the COVID and stuff going on, and they was like, we giving all the parents that got kids in school these food stamps. Listen to me, I ain't got no kids, and I can't get no food stamps, and everybody getting these food stamps, and I gotta go to the store and pay for my stuff. Okay, I'm mad, you know. I was just like, I was in my feelings. I was like, girl, I was so mad. I was like, and here they go again on TV. Now they getting it. I was like,
They already get $600 or something. I need something. I go there. You make too much. No, I don't.
I'm mad because I gotta go buy a loaf of bread. I'm like, I ain't got no food stamp card, you know. It was just, but I said, Lord, I'm grateful that I can buy this loaf of bread. You know, I thank you for my. I had to bring myself back because I wasn't. My arms was full. I was so mad. I was like, dang.
I want some food stamps too, but I don't want the struggle. I don't want to be without no bread. I don't want to be on no unemployment. I don't want to pay taxes on.
Right.
No, none of that.
When you said struggle, it sparked something in my spirit. We were talking about, or was I just listening to? I listen so much and hear so much or whatever, but I try to keep myself entertained with godly things because my mind gets out in 900 other places. But when you talked about the struggle, you talked about what is a strong woman. And for some reason, we equate strong women with struggle. We feel like if we can carry this load on ourselves, we're strong. I'm like you. I don't want to struggle to be a strong woman. I want to be a strong woman in a boss sense.
Yeah.
I got my stuff together. God is first and foremost in my life. I can do this. I can do that. I can do that with no sorrow added. Not to say he's not going to give me tests or he's not going to give me a tragedy or he's not going to, allow things to happen. But I don't want to be called a strong woman just because I know how to stretch $5 for the whole month. No. That's not a strong woman to me. That's just somebody that's just making it. Yeah. And when you said struggle, I was like, why do we equate being a strong woman with struggling?
Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it.
So I'm like, I don't feel like we have to struggle to be strong. We sometimes have to struggle to learn. But I don't struggle. You know how you be like, my mom was a strong woman. She had 8 jobs and then
I'm not doing that race though. That's the old church.
Is that what that is? I was just wondering why we have to
She got
struggle.
2 jobs. Someone told me, she said, well, I was talking to someone, maybe you need to get a second job. If I get a second job, that means I'm cutting out time on what I do at my church, cutting out time on raising my daughter. I don't want to do that because I go to work, 1 job, I pick her up from school, we have our time, we do what I gotta do. If I get a second job, I'm gonna be missing out on the best years of my daughter's life or raising her. So if it means that I have to go do my own fingernails, then that's what I'm gonna do right now.
and they look good. I'm like, I need to go up there and look
If I
myself.
gotta braid my own hair, that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm not gonna sit up here and have another job, have 2 jobs, and I'm tired. I am broke down. I'm not struggling. The struggle is over. And God's not gonna put no more on you than you can bear. But some of this stuff you put on yourself. Take that off. I don't want that. Y'all can have that.
But she trying to tell me to quit.
No. But you don't struggle though. You spend see, and that's the thing about it is, even if you do get like a side hustle or something like that, it's just what it is. It's a hustle. It's
And she enjoy what she do.
She likes what she does, and she has time
And
for
you
her
work for
family,
yourself.
and she works for herself,
I
and
ain't
she
going
does
for
what
somebody
she
else's
needs to
second
do.
job.
Right, to clock in somewhere else.
Right.
Man, I thought y'all stressing.
No.
No. And see, that's where accountability comes in at. Because we trying
first job.
That's what we've been trying to get her to do. That's where accountability comes in to make sure that your sister's okay, to make sure that, whatever, and I love that meme where it says your friends aren't the ones that know you upset. They just pull up. I'm a pull upper.
Me too.
You are.
Burn.
Yes, you are.
I'm a messenger. Hey, girl.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
sometimes
know how
we
to
say
get
we
there.
okay and we not okay.
And we're not okay.
And if you are a true woman of God and you are a true friend, you okay today? I'm okay. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You too quiet.
You-
That's not you.
Yeah.
Something's not right.
Your whole demeanor, your whole energy is shifted. Your energy shifts
Yeah.
when you're not okay.
Okay.
And we can say we okay all the time. And if people think I'm crazy or think my sister crazy, I go lay in bed with my sister and we go sleep. We ain't gotta talk to each other.
Because that's what you need for that moment.
I mean, because I know she's not okay.
Yeah.
Or I pull up on the shoulder and still spend the night like we 10. I call my husband in a minute. I ain't coming home still. I'm spending the night with my Not because I was like, oh, we gonna have fun. No, because I know she's not okay.
And it's okay to be
What
okay.
you doing? Nothing.
It's okay to
And just sit on the phone. And have not one conversation, or we'll think of something and start talking about something else. For 5 more minutes, we're silent. But it's that time that you just don't even know what you need.
Sometimes you just need somebody just to be there. You ain't got to say nothing.
You have to say
You
it.
ain't got to lay your hands on me.
You gotta be spitting, sliding, and spraying all over me. Just do
Text
it.
me that I love you. It's not even about talking to her. It's the fact that she
Somebody thought about me. And when
I'm
somebody
there.
crosses your heart, you have to be obedient to
And
the
that's what
spirit.
I try to
Just
do with different people. People I've not seen in years. I'll be like, hey girl, okay. I reached out to somebody the other day and I was like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Been divorced and everything. She ain't even know it. And she said, thank you for reaching out because, you know, this is why this is going on, this, that. You know, you just never know what's going on in
never
somebody's
know.
life. And when they do cross your mind, yes, you need to reach out so we can, you know,
people are
might be
going
sick.
through things in this season.
You
never know.
In silence. In silence. And we might not know everything about each other, but at least we know somebody cares. So when I am ready to bare my soul, I know you're going to be there.